This isn't about adding something new, it's about making something feel better, cleaner, lighter, and more precise. This is the iPhone Air 2. Now, the original iPhone Air showed that Apple could build an ultra-thin iPhone without it feeling like a compromise, and the Air 2 builds directly on that idea. Now, rather than chasing new features or dramatic changes, Apple's focus here is refinement. The goal isn't to change how the iPhone works, but to make it feel effortless from the moment you pick it up. Now, using leaked information from multiple reliable sources, these exclusive renders give us a clear look at how Apple is evolving the Air design. At first glance, it still looks unmistakably like an iPhone, but as the camera moves around it, especially from the side, the changes become a lot more obvious. Everything feels tighter, slimmer, and more intentional. One of the biggest enablers of that is what's happening inside the display. The iPhone Air 2 uses Samsung's COE display technology, and this allows the entire display stack to be thinner than before. And this isn't just a flashy feature you're going to see on a spec sheet, but it has a huge impact on the final product. It's the reason Apple has been able to reduce thickness again, and why the Air 2 looks and feels noticeably slimmer than the original model. There's also a slight reduction in weight, but Apple isn't chasing a headline number here. This is actually about balance. The phone feels lighter in the hand, it's easier to hold for longer periods, and more comfortable to use one-handed. It's the kind of change you notice immediately, even if you can't explain why. Now, on the front, the iPhone Air 2 features a 6.55-inch LTPO OLED display with a full 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate, and this is an important detail because it confirms that the Air lineup isn't being treated as a second-tier device. Now, you're getting the same smooth, fluid scrolling experience as you do with the Pro models without needing to step up to the heavier, more expensive phones, and Apple is also keeping the dynamic island on the Air 2. Now, there's no under-display camera or experimental cutout here, and that feels intentional. The Air is about refinement and reliability, not pushing experimental hardware, and it keeps the front of the phone clean and familiar while still feeling modern. Now, brightness is another area that's been pushed forward. The Air 2's display is expected to reach a peak brightness of up to 3600 nits, and this would make it one of the brightest iPhone displays ever, and that matters far more than it sounds, especially when you're using it outdoors, and it helps reinforce the idea that the Air isn't about compromise, even though it is much thinner. Performance is handled by Apple's A20 Pro chip, and this is a really interesting choice. Rather than using a cut-down processor, Apple is pairing the Air 2 with the same class of chip that you're going to find in the expensive higher-end models, and the focus here isn't raw benchmark numbers either, but instead efficiency. With the A20 Pro chip combined with Apple's C2 modem, the Air 2 is designed to deliver smooth, consistent performance while keeping power consumption as low as possible. Now, that efficiency story is crucial because battery is always the biggest question when it comes to ultra-thin phones, and the Air 2 does have a slightly larger battery capacity than the original Air, but expectations need to be kept realistic. This is still an extremely thin device, so the real gains are going to come from better efficiency rather than a huge bump in battery capacity. Now, in everyday use, that should translate to battery life that feels more consistent and predictable rather than dramatic increases on paper. Now, charging has been upgraded as well. The iPhone Air 2 supports faster Qi 2 wireless charging at up to 25 watts alongside USB-C wired charging. It's a practical improvement that fits the Air philosophy, quicker top-ups without turning the phone into a brick. Now, camera hardware has also been upgraded, but again in a very measured way. This time, the Air 2 features a dual camera system pairing a 48-megapixel main camera with a 48-megapixel ultra-wide. Now, it's a smart addition that gives you more flexibility without turning the Air into a pro camera phone. And for most people, this covers the shots that you're actually going to take without overcomplicating things. Now, in terms of colors, nothing has been officially confirmed yet, but current rumors are saying that we could see white, black, gold, and red options. It's a simple, clean lineup that suits the Air branding and keeps things visually distinct without going over the top. Now, the final piece of the puzzle is the launch timing, and this is where a lot of confusion exists. Now, some reports claim that the iPhone Air 2 could be delayed into 2027, while others suggest that it launches alongside the iPhone 18 lineup. When you look at how many different iPhone models are being predicted to launch in 2027, that delay starts to feel a little bit unlikely. Now, a September 2026 launch alongside the iPhone 18 could make sense, but it's still not confirmed at the moment. But as soon as we get any information, I'll let you guys know. Now either way, what's clear though is that the iPhone Air 2 isn't about chasing trends or headline specs, it's about refinement, taking something that already worked and quietly making it better in all of the ways that matter when you actually use it. But let me know in the comments who out there is waiting for the iPhone Air 2, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest tech.